January 8th, 2020. For most people, this date holds no special significance, but for Airman Christopher May, it is a day he will always remember.
It felt somewhat like just a normal day. You know, I wake up and did my usual routines. I had my kids that week. I was looking forward to going home and getting my kids and seeing them. And I just remember thinking how bad traffic was, because traffic was pretty congested that day. All I really saw was like two tractor trailers stopped. It looks like they were on the rear end of each other and people were going around them. And I just had the thought, I was like, oh, I guess there was just a wreck happened because there wasn't any police officers there.
And we start with that breaking news. You're looking at a very bad, very troubling and frustrating night for drivers downtown.
You see the crash there. It's shut down I-40 West under the DeMundrian Bridge.
But as I got closer, I looked over and saw that the two tractor trailers were not touching each other. There was a SUV or van, I couldn't make out what it was, like almost completely smashed together, and there was a man inside, trapped. I looked over and I immediately thought, like, I have to help this guy. You know, I'm wanting to get home to my kids, but it was more important to help somebody in need. The car looked like an accordion that was completely pushed in when it's not in use. And it was so smashed in that instead of him being in the seated position in the car, it had him standing straight up and pushed over into the windshield area. He just had a small space where his head was right there, and the steering wheel was completely pushed up against him here and had him crushed up against what was now the back of the car coming into him, and he was pinned in and couldn't move. There was nothing I could do to get him out of there. I could just sit with him. So he kept trying to struggle, and I was telling him to calm down. You know, I was like, just be calm. I said, you know, you can't go anywhere, so you just need to be calm. And I remember him like spitting teeth out of his mouth, and his head he had a massive like laceration. His head was just like laid open. And then he started to kind of like go in and out, like he was going in and out of consciousness, and I kept trying to keep him alert and awake from going to sleep. And I just kept telling him, I said, keep your eyes on me. I said, stop going to sleep. I said, don't do that. I said, pay attention to me, do not go to sleep. So I hung around until after they got him out and in a way, and that make sure that they cleared the vehicle to make sure that there was no one else in there.
May's actions at the crash site impressed one of the first paramedics at the scene, who also happened to be May's first sergeant.
Even just a voice from outside of the vehicle, you know, that individual is trapped inside the vehicle. That individual can't move, can't see, can't get out, knows they're trapped. Think about being confined and you can't breathe, something's crushing you. And you hear a voice, so you know that there's somebody there, there's going to be help. And that was Airman May at that moment. That says a lot about him, and his future is going to be bright with an attitude like that, because he's willing to go that extra step, do that extra mile, and stand up for what he believes is right. And that weighs a lot on what his future could become within the Air National Guard or the Air Force.
It shouldn't be that big of a deal to see somebody stop and do that. Like, I think everybody should do that. I think that should be the standard. I think it's kind of sad in a lot of ways that you don't have more people stopping, or because there were so many cars that just kept passing by. And part of the core value is just doing what's right when no one's looking, you know, and not expecting anything out of it. If we're living selfishly and only worried about ourselves, then that's not much of a life to live.